didn't see you there. I was busy painting in my studio. But now that you're here, would you care to join me for episode 3 of Quarantine Art with Miss Mitchell? Today we'll be making Zentangle Animals. Well, first things first, what on earth is a Zentangle? Zen means peaceful and calming. And that's exactly what we need right now after a few days cooped up inside, I think. And a Zentangle is these really fun patterns that I've put all over my doggy here. And I think they call them Zentangles because it's pretty peaceful and calming to kind of zone out and fill your page with these really fun doodles. And I thought we could go an extra step and add these Zentangles to our favorite animal. To make our Zentangle animals, you'll need a white or light colored piece of paper that's heavy duty enough to hold up to whatever you're going to be coloring with. If it's watercolor, something a little thicker. You might also want another sheet of paper to create a frame around your picture. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. You'll need a pencil to sketch out your design, a permanent marker to outline it and make it waterproof, watercolors if you have them, and if you choose to use watercolors, a cup of water and a paintbrush. If you don't have watercolors, that's totally fine. When we get to the coloring step, you can use colored pencils or crayons or markers or whatever you'd like. Okay, I'm going to glue these two pieces of paper together, and then I'll give you a few tips for how to draw your animals. Line this up as evenly as you can. Make a nice little frame. There we go. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick to drawing a lot of different animals. So for my dog, or it would work for a cat or a bear or a wolf or a fox, and it's this wacky shape that if you can get this shape right, it should make your animal pretty simple from there. And it goes like this, right in the middle of your page, because your animal's face is going to take up most of your space here. You're going to draw a circle, which will be the space around your animal's eyeball, and then come down into its snout, up to its nose, back down, other side of his snout, and up around his other eyeball. Totally wacky shape, but if you can nail this, you can do all sorts of animals. I'll trace back over that again, all the way around this eyeball, down and around the snout, up to the nose, around the other side of his snout, and around the other eyeball. Okay, from here you can connect his cheeks and give him a forehead and give him some eyeballs. I usually make my eyeballs kind of football shaped with a circle in the middle, maybe a pupil and a twinkle. I love a good twinkle. Same thing over here, football shape, circle in the middle, pupil, twinkle. Okay, still this could be anything. From this step, you can give him either, I think I'm going to do a bear. Give him rounded ears and a nice big nose, and all of a sudden you have a bear. Amazing. Or, look at this, a few more tips. If you start with that first shape, give him cheeks, give him a forehead. If you give him pointy ears, now you have a cat. If you give him droopy ears, now you have a dog. But all of these start with that same first shape. Ta-da! This is kind of like when Martha Stewart pulls the finished casserole out. Once you have the face of your animal drawn, we're just going to give him some shoulders and divide up this space a little bit so that we have extra room for our really cool Zentangles. And you want your animal to be kind of chubby so you have lots of room. I'm going to give him a shoulder coming all the way off the page here, shoulder coming all the way off the page over here, and then I'm going to also separate right here to kind of give him a chest, and now I have an extra spot here for another Zentangle. We're not going to draw any Zentangles in this space around our animal's eyes or right next to his nose, because those are very important parts of his face and we want to be able to see them, not draw our patterns too close to his face. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line right here so I know where to stop for my bear's snout. You could also draw another shape inside your animal's ears. Now I have 2 zones here for extra Zentangles. It's looking pretty good. All right, once you have everything just how you want it, you can outline your animal with your permanent marker. Everything that you drew with pencil, you want to outline with your permanent marker. to make it really pop and to make it waterproof. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And now I have lots of spaces to fill with Zentangles. And let me give you a few ideas for your Zentangles. It really can be any pattern that you think is cool and that you think would be fun to draw multiples of. A few ideas though might be to separate parts of your animal with lines, and in between each line you can do a different shape. So maybe here I'm going to do circles, and then triangles, circles, triangles. So we're just repeating that pattern over and over again. Another one of my faves is to draw triangles that flip-flop, so they fit together like this. Or I really like doing spirals. That's one I could draw all day. Ooh, or checkerboard is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to do that right here on his other shoulder. You start by drawing lines going one direction, and then crisscross that with lines going the opposite direction. And then you're going to color in every other square. This one, not that one. This one, not that one. And when you drop down to the next row, you do the opposite. This is sounding an awful lot like our weaving project yesterday. Checkerboards, opposites. That's another fave. But really, it's all up to you. Patterns, shapes, go crazy. Oh, I like mine. He's so cute. So now I'm ready to color, and if you have watercolors, great, that's what I'm going to use. But if you want to use colored pencils or markers or crayons, that's just fine too. If you do choose to use watercolors, let me give you just a couple tips. They're called watercolors. They have water right in their name, but actually you really don't want to use very much water for your watercolors. Otherwise your paper just gets soaking wet and your poor little animal will just fall apart. So when you dip your paintbrush in your water and you lift it up and it's all dripping, you want to just gently wipe it on the side of your cup to get that extra water off. So it shouldn't be dripping. You should be able to hold it right over your animal, no drips. And then when you come over to choose a paint color, you want to really swish it around in your color a few times. So less water, more paint. And then when you come over here to paint, I like to trace around the whole outside of my shape. Really take my time around those edges. And then that way I can fill in the middle really fast and I'm not worried about painting outside the lines. If you have a tiny brush or extra patience, you can also take your time and paint each individual shape here and then paint the background a different color, but you should definitely let the shapes dry before you try to paint around them. Wow, we did it. Don't forget to name your animal. I'm going to call mine Sharon. Well, there you have it. You know I would not leave you hanging without a joke. So, what do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Feel free to share this video with anyone else you feel may need a moment of zen. I'll see you tomorrow.